He told me. I said, I told him now, but it ain't that big deal. She said, I just want to see if we can do it or not. Oh, we can. I just took it wrong. That's wrong. I just asked you, you do it.
So you would have been in either, one or
He
four.
wanted to go.
Because I'm the one. I don't know.
I didn't ask that question.
You sit up here at us? I might even share
Usually
with
that's what
you.
gets me pieces.
Travis reaches over here.
We're just like,
Think
on
of
the
it.
comments.
Good morning,
We
Dave.
did the.
Morning.
Yeah. It was good. We had
Morning.
a good time.
Get your hat through. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, you went in and
I interjected mine. I didn't enter that deal. I guess Georgia was doing that. Was that last
Up
year?
there. Oh, well, I
Maybe
just missed it, but you just got back.
That now they've got better than cemetery.
that's in.
Well, which not.
About four of the blood bones.
They know not to.
Sweet, at least you're getting a big.
That's got to be last year. Well, that was all I could
This hotel we stayed at, a restaurant.
That's a good idea. It's like-
If they ask me everything,
It's another important business. Had it their barn dance. And some of them recognizable names that we all know, but then there's some more that I looked up. The devil's something, she had two, the devil's fill in the blank. And it sounded like a lot of others, but we should found out. You've got two addresses in my records, this is maybe something that you know. That's not very.
Past prior state that are put into the trust and so
Well, I don't know, Jack, I think we're either pilot on the new take it off, I read something on Facebook. These things, even when they're on, they put out a note. And I have one right behind me in my office.
Yep, yep.
yeah.
well, I don't have one council didn't sound just.
How you doing? Good, how you doing?
Young County Commissioners Court will come to order. It is 9:30 a.m. Monday, March 14th, 2022. Make note that this meeting was posted in the manner and for the time required, that all members of the court are present, that we are feeding live to YouTube. Our call-in number is 940-221-2107. If anyone would like to make any comment or any statement or on anything that's on the agenda today. If it's convenient, please stand for invocation and pledge. I'll ask Commissioner Crestwell to go read us.
Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you today. We just ask for wisdom and understanding in our court today, dear Lord. Help us through this, dear Lord. Give us the best ability of us to do what's good for this community, dear Lord. Dear Lord, we just ask you to watch over these people fighting sickness and disease, dear Lord, in this community, dear Lord. And we just thank you for each thing you do for us each day. And dear Lord, we come to you and just honor you with the way we conduct ourselves each day. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Like to complete this meeting. Let's look at it. Item number 3, public comments, announcements, and presentation. These are no action items. I usually give a little COVID update when I have information. I do have sort of area or regional information. This comes from TSA. That's a Promise Service Area C of District 2 and 3 of State Health Services District region. It includes Electoral Memorial, Wichita County, Cal West, Wichita County, United Regional, Wichita County, Promise Hospital, Wichita County, Clay County Memorial Hospital, Faith Community in Jack County, Brown Regional in Young County, and Hamilton Hospital in Olney, Hardeman County Memorial Hospital, Nocona Hospital in Montague, Seymour Hospital in Baker County, and Will Barger Hospital in Will Barger County. Their total ER visits for this reporting period were 263. Now that's total ER visits. Those that were suspected to be COVID-19 were 21, and that's the total of all. COVID admissions, those that were admitted to a hospital for COVID were 2, and that was in United Regional at Wichita. There were 5 COVID patients in ICU, and that's also United Regional in Wichita. Total COVID census, that's the total COVID patients in all counties, or all hospitals that I've reported, not necessarily in all counties. Are 9 total, 8 in Wichita, one in Promise Hospital there. Or a total of 9. Total census in all hospitals are 304. That's COVID and any other related hospitalization, what it looks to me like. So, Hamilton, let's see, Graham Regional Hospital, they had 14 ER visits, 2 suspected COVID, and there are no people hospitalized, it looks like, in Graham Regional. And likewise in Hamilton Hospital, there were 7 ER visits, 2 were suspected COVID, and none were admitted with a diagnosis of COVID. So everything's looking up COVID-wise. Tax assessor collector February activity report, that'll be in the paper.
Sorry to interrupt, before we forget, when we get to it, he needs to talk to you whenever you get through. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Okay, is this related to the burn restriction?
Well, it's just related to him and his experience and what he can help you guys with. He just wanted to talk to y'all about it for a little bit.
Okay. February tax assessor collector report for February, that's in your packet. Christie Centers, our tax agency, has been providing us with this report, and it is it's an interesting report. Let you know what all the revenues has been taken in by that office and in the particular categories of revenue and service that they provide. We also have an acknowledgement, permit letter from Tiffany.
Yeah. This S.
Sawyer.
Sojourner, is what I pronounce that. Tiffany Sojourner. To spread field dirt over Tin Horn near the gate. Now, as I've taken that, that's ditch.
Yeah.
Ditch.
Ditch work. Or
Also, there's a flyer in the packet with regard to a Young County Masonic Lodge gun auction, Saturday, April the 9th, 2022 at Young County Arena. And before we get to the Historical Commission's report, Travis, what do you have?
Okay. Mr. Brieger's gonna he wanted just to kind of explain some things to y'all real fast. I told you he didn't have a lot of time. But it does have to do with the fires and all that, so, and what he can bring to the court to help you guys.
I was gonna explain that we need to really start trying to do something, get a class or something. I don't know if I need to go through y'all to try to teach these people something about this burning, because they're going out there and not even preparing their pastures or anything correctly. They're just going out there and putting fire on the ground. And I could get a blasting class here in Graham. It's not very cheap. It's $500 a person to get your license. Then you have to have insurance. It has to be $1 million, $2 million insurance policy to maintain your license.
Has to be a certified burn manager.
To be a certified burn manager. I am a private certified because the ranch pays my insurance. So I can burn for the ranch. I cannot write a burn plan and burn for somebody else in a burn ban. But I can help y'all in any way, however y'all think that we need to approach this. We're trying to train some of these people that you don't just go out there and just put fire on the ground. tell everybody I know what I'm doing. The one we had Saturday, I think he told the firefighter that, he said, firefighter said, I wouldn't be lighting that today. He lit it anyhow, and he jumped the highway and took off, jumped the county road, and we finally stopped it by running it into some salt skulls out in the pasture. That's the only way we got it under control. But our absentee landowners are part of the worst. They just come in for the weekends and everything and don't know, don't pay any attention. But I don't know what our outlook is to how to approach this. We come here to visit with y'all. See if y'all have any ideas of anything that we can do with the county government.
There may be some things that we could do, and we'll take your offer, I guess you say, under consideration. At some point in time, we can't do it now.
I understand, but if y'all ever need any advice or any suggestions or knowledge of any of the burn plans and stuff like that, I'm available. Just let me know, and I'll sure bring some stuff up to you.
We'll do that. We thank you for the offer
You bet.
and opportunity, and there may be something there. I don't know how much common sense you teach people.
Amen.
And,
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
Who's the closest burn manager come in the county right plan?
the burn manager that would, the closest one I know of right now, well, he's talking about a certified
Okay.
to do it, but it's not private, right? You're talking about one that can bring in?
Right there at the USDA
Well,
office.
probably no, I mean, they're not certified burn managers.
I just went to Red Buffalo in Childress and got my renewal. He is a certified burn manager, and he brings his own team in. He don't just write a burn plan for somebody. He comes in, does all the guard work, furnishes all the equipment, and his team burns it. And they charge about $15, $20 an acre.
Yeah.
To do it.
There's one in across Red River in Oklahoma, and then there's a list on the Forest Service site, there's a list of the certified burn managers that are registered at the time. And there's not anybody very close.
No, there's not any close. I've had a lot of people call and ask me if I could do it, and I said, no, I can't do it, because I'm not injured, personal injured. So, but I reconsider also, if y'all would, consider the burn ban again.
That'll be considered here after a while.
I sure hope so, so.
You know, that's one of the things that those people out here don't realize is the cost it is whenever that fire gets out of control.
Yes, sir.
And it's a lot more than what they think.
Mhm.
That fire last night, yesterday afternoon, had 3 airplanes, numerous dozers, and people on the ground, plus several fire departments.
Just no time, that run into the millions.
It was expensive,
You start bringing the air support in, it runs into the millions in a hurry.
and they don't realize what that costs.
It's true.
Okay, we'll take that into consideration, Steve.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Okay, the next item is the annual report of the Young County Historical Commission. I thought this was gonna be on the 28th, but during my stay at Lubbock, it got by me, I guess. 21st. Susan Smith and Judy Cox, co-chairs of the Young County Historical Commission.
And thank you for having us. We also have our marker chair, Kent Pettis, and our member from Jean, Emily Plumley. So thank you for having us today. So we currently have 33 members on our roll, and for 2021, we put in 1,180 volunteer hours. We were pretty busy last year. We did the normal things that we usually do. We supported Fort Belknap. We went to Fort Griffin and participated in Fort Belknap Days. So did a lot of public history and a lot of outreach through that. We have continued to do public outreach through our Facebook page to try to promote history and historic preservation and just in general knowledge And we've also worked on markers. We've turned in 2 applications this last year. We sent in the John Connor application, asked by Ann Skipper, and it was approved. So that should be, the verbiage should be coming to us before too long to review and then send back and go through that process. And we also wrote an undertold marker application for the Lincoln School. It was not approved, but we're going to continue to do the research and write a real application for that this year. We were in the process still of correcting the verbiage on the 1921 Young County Jail. I've not talked to the Historical Commission, but we were at the point where we were getting the final rewrite to include the Santa Claus robbery that was not in the original 2 versions. Other than that, you know what we were doing for the last part of 2021, bringing forward the history of the 1921 jail and why it's important to save it. It's one of the few 1920s buildings that remains, and it shows the growth of the oil boom and what was happening in this county at the time. But we just wanted to let you know that we're still working hard for you. We appreciate all of your support and the budget that you give us every year. We have some lofty goals this year. We're so glad that COVID is finally dwindling down, because that allows us to meet in a more public way and to get out there and speak with people.
Well, I think that the Historical Commission has been very active in this. It's operated very good and it's doing what it's supposed to do. And I appreciate your hard work. I know that's, those that are interested in history appreciate the things that you're doing also.
You know, it's a real dynamic time for us too. It just feels like a synthesis thing. There's so many people in this county that really care about history, and it kind of ebbs and flows, but we're in a flow right now. You've got the new museum that's opening and lots of things going on at Fort Belknap. The museum in Almy's struggling, but they're trying to continue, and so there's just a lot of people that really care that we can all come together and do some great things.
Well, there's a lot of history here.
There is.
More awesome history.
It looks like it's been Lincoln School,
Well, so there's the one that was built in the 1950s that's part of the BF Acres off of Highway 16. And Lissa Acres, I got to go tour that building in January of last year. And it's really amazing how it still looks like the 1950s. They have the old school bell, the rooms are still that institutional green, but the original one, if I'm not mistaken, and y'all help me, is down there off of Hicks and what was the other? Cherry, maybe. I think there's the Mount Zion Church
Right,
and
yeah,
the Lincoln
yeah.
School, and there was a building in between that the owners took down this summer. And the thing that really propelled us, we were already working on the marker application, but when I stopped and talked to the owners this summer, they said they almost tore the Lincoln School down. And they would have if they could have afforded the dumpster. I mean, we were that close to losing a piece of history, that there's really not a lot out there about it. In the Green School Book, History of Young County Education, there's 2 lines about the Lincoln School. So there's so much information that's just out there that we haven't recorded yet. So that's why that's going to be a big priority for us. And of course, Kent is always doing incredible research, adding to find a grave all the time. You did the preliminary work for the Belknap Cemetery, and so now it's in our court to get the marker for it.
It's qualified for a marker.
Right, so we've got to do the second step on that.
Texas Historic Cemetery.
Mhm. And how many cemeteries have we got? We've got a lot of work to do.
Don't do anything with the Liceville Cemetery out there? I got some notifications on it out there, and the pigs were ripping it apart, but I just wanted to try anything out there with it.
haven't, but we sure can make it a priority.
Please.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, and that's one thing we need to work on too. We don't really have a representative from that area. David Donnell kind of is a member, but he's so busy that we just don't have a lot
I'll
of
give you this lady
contact.
that keeps calling me.
Okay, that'd be great.
I haven't asked for it yet, so I think it's, I think the furniture medallion within our.
They will, we just have to do our part. Mhm. Yeah, it's gotta go through the regular marker software. Thank you, y'all, we appreciate
About
you.
the length of the school,
Mhm.
do you remember whenever it was closed? Kent? I think
Well,
65.
James, I was talking to James Jackson the other day. James went to that school, and I couldn't hear everything that was said, but I think I briefly owned the property where that school was, where Miss Graves taught, and the BRA, Corps of Engineers bought it. I had the stepping stones left, that was all, and that's why I was pretty sure that's where that school was located. I'd been to it once. But to answer your question, we were the high school class of 64. That's the year 63 we integrated. Of course, they stopped at junior high. Elementary school is all they could go there, but I'm gonna guess 1960.
Yeah, well, I remember it, I don't remember when they were educating kids there in that school, but I wasn't too old.
Yeah, I think it was, my mom graduated in 1962, and I want to say it integrated when her sister was in school here. So-
James is scheduled with Shannon to do an oral history,
Mhm.
because he claims he's the first black graduate of Graham High School. He wants to tell all his story
That's
of all the
awesome.
years.
Who was the first operator?
James who?
James?
Jackson, Willie Jackson's kids.
I know who he is.
All right, Ernest Jackson.
James retired, he worked for Texas Electric, out of the generating plant.
We need to ask Shannon if we can sit in on that then, if she'll let us. That would be great.
That was just last week. James caught me in the grocery store, and he said, I want to get it, I want to get it. So I called Shannon, and they're supposed to be working it out.
Okay. Yeah, and we'll be turning in some receipts probably next week too. I bought a whole bunch of cassette tapes so we can do more oral histories. When we were doing the marker application and taking pictures, I had a lady drive up and she said, well, we went to school there and we know this person and this person. So we've got a lot of recording, transcribing, and putting together to do.
That's good.
It's exciting.
Looks like you've been busy, a lot of things on the calendar. Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service. Okay, item number 4, does anybody have anything else that needs to be brought up with regard to any announcements, events, things that may be going to take place?
The flyer for the gun auction also supports their scholarship program as well, so.
Who's that?
For the Masonic Lodge gun auction, it also supports their scholarship program and stuff of that nature.
Okay, Crawfish Cannon's coming up pretty quick.
April the 9th.
April the 9th, yeah, then, well,
This weekend too, they've got the hog hunt for the Wounded Warriors. It's gonna be a Friday and Saturday, they've got more land than they've ever had.
Yeah,
And it's gonna be like, I think there's 200 entries.
yeah, he said there was over 200 people would be there.
Yeah. So it'd be good. That 5 or 6 helicopters or more. So it's gonna be interesting.
You'll have some hogs moving.
okay, item number 4 is gonna be the third call. Typo in that, it's been corrected, so, are there any additions or deletions or other corrections that need to be made? she goes in her minutes, maybe.
So moved.
All in favor? Item number 5, consider treasurer's financial report and updates on security pledges.
I don't have anything today.
No pledges.
She didn't send them yet, I'll have to look on my email.
Well, we had, I think, just about a couple of weeks ago or 3, we had,
Sold some of them.
we had swapped some, and they had some due, replaced them, and I think they're over ample. Okay, so nothing on treasurer's deal?
No, not today.
Okay. Okay. Item number 6, consider auditor's budget amendments and voucher payment.
I have vouchers payable. We always have vouchers. Total is $168,437.39. And out of the general fund is $143,958.77. And I was gonna tell you that, and I know it's on the next one too, Savannah Williams, hers is in here, but I did knock it down by $30. She didn't have a receipt for some parking, and I took it off till she gave us a receipt, so we get that, but it is in these vouchers.
Don't have a doc, don't you?
Well,
Well,
well, that's at Sherry Center, you know, not like we should, and I think probably that parking is on there, but, we have to have the receipt. And there is Don's View in this one, so,
They're on, you think?
yes, sir.
Okay. So moved. I have a motion by Mr. Presley. All in favor?
Yeah, you-
We get the Penny Barron's report, her mileage report. She turned in 467.52 miles. That's getting narrowed down pretty close.
The mileage did go up to
52.
yeah.
What did
I told Sherry we need to,
Okay, that's
because that
complete.
budget cannot go over at all, those two budgets, and we have to just watch them, what they get is what they get, and after that, they're on their own.
I'll be a 401 vote with noting that Commissioner Wiley abstained from any discussion. Vote on that. Pursuant to his conflicts disclosure. Item number 7 is consider the extension agent's January report request for reimbursement. Penny Barron, $285.49, and Savannah Williams, $1,551.54, less $30.
Yes, sir, so 1521.54 is what we're thinking.
So, less 30.
so moved.
Wiley, on the motion. Second. Cresswell. All in favor? 5-0. number 8, discuss, consider employee bonds, the Melissa K. Martin, Young County Probation Department, 5,000. Chelsea Moore, Chief Justice Peace Clerk, 5,000. Tommy Dittmeyer, Young County Community Supervision Department, $5,000.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Rogers, second by Commissioner Cresswell, to approve bonds as presented. All in favor? All in favor? 5-0. Item number 9 is discuss and consider Young County Judges and Commissioners Association of Texas annual county dues of $1,800. I believe that it's been $1,800 2 or 3 years now or 4. Cheryl, do you recall?
It's been there for a while.
Been there a few years.
Yes.
It's a budgeted item. I don't want to not be a member. I want to be a member.
It's taken out of each of y'all's budgets.
I'll move that we approve the payment of $1,800 for our annual dues in the County Judges and Commissioners Association of Texas. Second by Commissioner Wiley. All in favor? 5-0. Item number 10 is discuss February activity report for jail and sheriff's offices.
You get this one, I get this, okay? Well, the guy who printed that off, he's kind of new at this, so. Anyway, the jail this morning, there was 54 inmates. Our emergency transports to Graham GMA or to the emergency room, up, there were 3 last month.
Any of that,
One, death in custody.
Where do we go with juveniles? That last one.
Last month.
like all across Texas.
Yeah. Doesn't take much. We have to take them.
Yeah.
We're still housing that one from Baylor County.
Okay. Still nothing on the reimbursement?
Nothing I was fixing to say, because last time I talked to Mitch about it, last month, he said that they're just being slow about it. They're aware of it. I think he had even resend all the ones that he had sent before.
Well, I wonder how many people in that position are still at home working instead of.
Well, that's what I'm wondering, if that's
Probably.
slowing it down, probably.
Some point these people will get back to work.
You would think. I mean, because we're still sending them, I mean, we sent 3 last month.
It's ironic, these people are going to out to eat and Walmart and.
Yeah.
They can go to work.
They can go to work.
Mitch, official.
Retired? Yes, sir. He is officially done. Is Tim not here?
haven't seen her.
This next month, this month's gonna be a little bit different on the fire.
Yes, sir. A little bit, speaking of, I had them check before I came over, just during the burn, just from the time we did the burn ban until now, we had, what did I say, 14 fires. 14.
One a day.
And there's an article in the Wichita paper, or not Wichita paper, Channel 3 News, said that between those local volunteer fire departments in their area, since the first of the year, since they've been in there, have had 77 burns out of control.
And with Almy fire, there were, just 8 that we had recorded, and approximately 11 more that they went and assisted Archer County and the surrounding county lines.
Yes.
Since the burn ban. Because I talked to Clint this morning, he said 19 since the burn ban. So, all right, I saw complaints that went down a little bit. And that's about half of what we normally do. Calls for service are still up. Still generating a little bit of civil process. Yes, sir.
Must be.
The rest were 18, that's pretty good. Depends on how you look at it. It's high.
DWIs getting more.
There was, it seemed like they were up a little bit last month, then more.
Picked up a little bit of Mary Jane, I think.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of that coming from Loveland, driving down 114. So, it's good though. Y'all have any questions on anything?
No. No, I don't ask you here.
Okay.
Has the drop point ready to go? Drop
Yes, yes.
You got the signs up there?
Signs are up, the cameras are up. I mean, we had it marked. I just want to mark it a little bit more so that there's no misunderstanding, but, yeah.
When that air is on,
Yeah, you can tell when you pull up there, but I still want to make it a little bit easier for everybody to understand, so. And I talked to, Chris Barron and told him what we were doing too, and he said that he was going to really get with you and see if we can make it where it's like, you know, mandatory that they do their drop offs right there instead of out in the county somewhere where it's not recorded and getting out of hand. Sometimes these people can't do these child exchanges without getting heated arguments, so at least this way it'll be recorded, audio and video.
Audio is what's important, because video, you can stand there and act normal and say stuff that you shouldn't say.
Some people can, I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but anyway,
sounds good.
thank y'all. I'll wait after we're through and then I'll talk about it.
While we're doing this, where we at on the vehicles?
Oh, yeah. So I did get an email Friday that our last vehicle was ready for pickup finally.
Oh, good.
So then, after I get it back, I get everything, we should be able to sometime next week have everything.
Take it out of that one.
Over at Belton.
If you think you can do it next week, then we can put it on the next agenda to go
I
out.
don't see why not. I think we're gonna go, we're probably gonna go get that one in the morning,
Okay.
and whenever we do, that'll be, we'll have them other ones ready to go. taking the bumpers off of the ones that, because I was told by Skidmore's that we can use those on the other units.
That'd be a good idea, then we won't forget it.
And we have the vacuum bumpers, we keep them there in that storage inside the building, so
Be a good idea.
we just replace them and go on.
Sounds good. That's that much.
That'll save us about $3,000 each.
Sounds good. I like that.
It'll only work until, I think, after 2021, he said he didn't think it'd work after that.
We get one more run out of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, thank y'all.
Thank you.
Gene, I'll put it on the agenda, Gene, we'll have it ready.
Okay.
I've got it ready to go to Gov Deals, but I just need updated mileage and if there's any new dings or dents or damage, just get them stripped
I think
down.
this time there'll be some good money on
I hope so.
Item number 11, discuss, consider ARPA, American Rescue Plan Fund Act money.
it. That's me. Last meeting we went to, a lot of counties that's under 10 million, 2 million or under, going ahead and claim them, and it's, the whole funds is a revenue loss.
Yep.
And according to that, we need to do that through the court system, make a motion, run through it, and it automatically activates that.
Yeah, we had a little session through that. My understanding, during the judicial conference last week, that up to $10 million could be claimed as loss of revenue. And the court needed to pass a minute order declaring that and claiming our amount of funds, which was about 3.5 million, 3.4 something. All total, anyway.
With that, he said we can take and go ahead and if we distribute to whoever we distribute to, we still gotta keep records and receipts of it. And it still needs to stay in its own separate account.
Y'all still have to report it and we'll just have to be real careful with it, but,
We don't have the rules and regulations.
it's not restricted.
Still spending on different
You still spend on different categories, but you still can't build a new building. You can't put it on debt service. And you
Can't do it
put
for
money down.
retirement.
But you can do other things like that.
I talked to, Austin McCormick,
Something like that, yeah.
because he's gonna be speaking at my next institute in May, and he was telling me, did he speak again?
Not fair, I've heard him have a couple of deals before.
But he was telling me on the phone just while we were talking about him speaking, he said, you know, y'all can claim those as loss, you just still have to report them as you've been doing, you know, I haven't reported anything yet, I'll have to in April report the money we gave to the ambulances. But, I'm hoping.
And you've already got the receipts back on them.
Yes, they gave me all the paperwork I needed to cover me, so.
The other thing I was thinking of is we might want to think about with some of this money, the extra expense that our fire departments have been doing, maybe give some of that money, to help them out, each individual fire department. Something to think about. But the main thing today is to get it passed to where it is shown to be as a revenue loss. And I'll make that motion that the monies that we have received and any monies that we're going to receive in the future will be claimed as a revenue loss. In the ARPA money.
You know, I had heard, you know, don't be relying on that next deposit, and I said something to Austin about that when I was talking to him. He said, I'd be surprised if you didn't get it.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to have it about May, I believe, if.
Sometime in May.
I'll second, it hadn't already been second. declare American Rescue Plan Act funds as lost revenue and claim as such. That's good, everybody?
Do they have standardized form or orders for
No.
that?
No, it's just basically.
Just a minute
what
order.
we're doing right here.
That's what I understood.
It's that simple,
That's what I understood too.
it's that simple.
All in favor? All in favor? Okay, item number 12, discuss and consider auction through Gov Deals for 2006 EPS belly dump and a Leroy 900 asphalt laydown machine, precinct 4, Virginia Highway.
Yeah, I've got, one more belly dump I need to replace, and we'll go ahead and put it on there, and I'll use whatever proceeds from that to go toward the next belly dump. And I have this laydown machine, it's a Leroy. We're just getting that time of year we'll be using it. You won't use it for long, so I'm gonna go ahead and put it on the belly deals, see what I get out of it. You look there, I've got pictures, everything, I'll give it to Cheryl with. She can send it off.
Okay, time frame?
I guess, probably our April, when was the first one in April? Well, the 28th is the next one here, isn't it?
April the 11th is the second Monday.
We've got the 28th.
28th pretty booked up.
But it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be, liable to be pretty
It's
full.
gonna, yeah,
This
it's
one
got
is the
chips
first
in
one in
it.
April,
Okay.
April the 11th.
April 11th.
What day?
April 11th.
11?
We'll take it till 8 o'clock that morning.
Okay.
Okay.
Gov deal. Till 8 AM. That's April 11th, 2022. Okay. All in favor?
Who made the second?
I did.
Item number 13 is discuss, consider cell phone allowance for election administrator and current budget to $60 a month to get the next payroll. I don't guess I knew that it wasn't being,
Well, I didn't either, and I'm actually the one that brought it up in the office when Stacy's there. You know, she's using her cell phone constantly, and she hasn't been being paid. I didn't know it either, but if you're using your cell phone that much, you should. I guess just the standard $60 a month would help, and there is money in her budget that I can move up there.
it's not budgeted, but $500. Budget was.
Well, most all of them are
I know what
60.
most all of them are. Is there enough in there to
Yes.
do the $60, which would be
Yes, sir, there's
$720?
money that I can move up there in that
Okay,
line.
then that'll be, we could do that. I don't know why Lauren requested that or why put that in there, but, you know, that's all she thought she needed, so I guess that's, maybe she had a better cell phone bill than we do. or
I hope
something.
everybody's is better than mine, and it's just me on there.
So make the motion,
Yeah.
because she's got 500 already. I thought it was even.
I don't know if there's anything.
There's nothing to it.
But just to finish out this year would be $420. And we can budget it.
I did, when I saw that, I did look at the budget, and I think the budget was $500 for whatever reason. But if there's enough in there to pick that up,
Well, there is, you
pick it
know.
up there, and we'll address it as budget time.
Okay.
Where's the
the regular telephone.
Okay, there's a motion by Commissioner Cresswell, second by Commissioner Pruitt to approve the $420 or $60 per month cell phone allowance. So as budgeted, and it's not, it's money's there to provide that. A cell phone allowance for elections administrator. Katie. All in favor? Okay. I mentioned that to her on Friday, she didn't know anything about it.
No. We just don't, that's what she's doing.
Yeah, I think I talked to her later, she came up to bring something and I mentioned.
Okay. Item number 14, discuss, consider a burn restriction order. And I think we need to put it back on there, our conditions, or, I don't know, looking back 12 years ago, or 10 years ago, I guess it is, 2011, our conditions aren't too different from that. I don't believe that we've got hardly as much fuel this time as we did in 2011, but there's a lot of fuel out there. And we've had a little rain and things are trying to pop green, but it's still evidence that the last 2 or 3 weeks it will still burn.
I'll give you a second.
So I'll put that in the way of a motion. Is that second?
Yes.
To a regular or burn restriction order and be effective. So let's make it effective at 12 o'clock p.m. today. I'll have to get it out, do it. Helper's not with us today. All in favor?
I'm against.
One opposed. 4-1. Okay. Y'all have given me the authority, given the county judge the authority to lift that when conditions change to where we meet the criteria to lift that. We're not under the drought restriction of the Forest Service, or the drought, I guess you'd say, criteria that meets drought conditions. I think the last time I looked, we were still in the 4,500 range. So, but I know, fire is a good management tool, but in the way that society's moving west, we've got all these places, it's sure it's put a problematic situation here as far as using fire. And when you light that fire, it can be dead still when you ignite the place that you're gonna burn. It usually changes immediately. If there's any wind, it gets stronger or it changes directions. And those fires, they get going, they'll create their own wind. Yeah, I had two texts on Sunday morning. Politely requesting that. And we'll do that. I think it's in order for a 90-day, it's a 90-day order.
and they're subject to change pretty rapidly now, this time of year.
Only needs moisture.
Yeah. The forecast is not too promising, or next 10 day forecast anyway.
I got pasture, I'd love to burn right now so I can spray it, but I'm gonna have to mow it. I got it plowed around, but didn't get it burned.
Okay, we've got item number 15 left.
So moved.
I heard somebody grunt, but I don't know if
I'll second it.
Is it quiet in here?
they're all in favor.
Okay, internet connection.
Lee Wiley told me to give you, he told me that he had asked me about the colony down there.